You need to try and pick off the units as. Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the ball is gonna take
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another matchup here for the IPL Season 2. We're now in the winners round 2 where we have ESC GoOdy, our Terran player, facing up versus Fnatic NightEnD, our Protoss player. We see NightEnD here spawning as the red Protoss in the southeast here on Crevasse, and GoOdy will be spawning as our purple Terran in the southwest. And as each round advances here in the IPL Season 2, it's just going to get tougher and tougher here for these players as the competition this season is incredibly talented and fierce. I'm DJ Wheat from OneMoreGame.tv, excited here for yet another matchup. We have seen some great matches throughout the season so far. Some players really struggling to stay alive in the lower rounds, and some players just really showing very little in terms of weakness in the winners round. And I don't know that anyone can predict who is actually going to be able to win the competition here for IPL Season 2. But that's the fun of it, is it not? We have GoOdy now throwing down his racks, and we'll be watching, see if that refinery is going to be coming out. But Probe making his way over, and we'll check out the inside of the base. Not a whole lot of information to actually gather at this point of time. So he'll just kind of do the dance and take a little vacation over there in GoOdy's base for the time being. NightEnd's going to throw down his assimilator while that first gateway is being made. And based on the scouting time that GoOdy saw that probe come in, I'm assuming that was kind of a cue to maybe go to the southeast first. Now, it's very possible he could have come from the northwest, but GoOdy's going to be very happy that he sees here that he has found his opponent, and not a whole lot to report over on this side. Now, let's find out. We do have the refinery gone down for GoOdy, and he's actively mining gas out of there, getting that first Marine. Second one queued up behind it, and the orbital going up right now. Over on the other side, the cybernetics core will go down, and a second gas will be taken here by NightEnD. GoOdy is going to spot that, even parks his SCV for a moment, thinks about it, scratches his head, and goes, okay, well, I have kind of an idea on what might be going on here. Now, one Marine watching the ramp as this probe is just going to go ahead and put himself on patrol. Would give him an opportunity to react. He's going to pop up here momentarily. Two Marines might give chase, so we already have the factory going down here, and this, of course, will begin to show us what we might see out of GoOdy here in his build versus NightEnD. Two very good players are going at it right here. There's another pylon put up over here in the pocket expansion. We got a Marine checking for pylons in his pocket expansion. And do note that it's one of the nice things about Crevasse is that we call this the pocket expansion because it's technically within the pocket of the main base. And, you know, the one thing to note here is that does only have the one Vespene geyser. So, you know, some players, and it really depends on the matchup, they realize that it is or could be an advantage to go ahead and take that pocket expansion early on. But if you're going with a gas-heavy build, it might not be the greatest decision. You eventually may have to go ahead and just expand out to here where you have the double Vespene geysers as well. There's also fewer mineral patches over there. As we can see, there's only the 6 versus the, of course, 8 that you would get at a normal expansion. So, you know, things that these players have to think about. Now, Starport's going to go down. We are going to have one Hellion come out of the factory. Starport's going to finish up, and it's going to go ahead and drop a medevac. So we're going to have a very quick Hellion/Marine, or possibly he's just going to go ahead and try to get 4 Hellions and go for a drop. Now, because we have no add-ons on these production facilities, obviously we won't be seeing Blue Flame for this drop. But this still could be very effective in the early game. We have the one Stalker over here that could potentially stop this. We also have the expansion going up. And what we might see out of GoOdy, and oh no, actually, he's just going to go ahead and load up those Marines and head right over, putting a tech lab on the starport. So he's not going to even bring out a second medevac to supplement this drop. But what I thought he might do is possibly go for a Marine attack here while dropping into the main base. Now, it looks like there are 2 Stalkers and the Sentry going out there, and Cloak will come out with that first Banshee, and here comes the drop. Will the Protoss be ready for that? He's going to go ahead and drop those Marines down, already taking some initial damage, but not targeting that medevac. 1 Stalker goes down, and oh my goodness, we could see some pretty serious damage here. Another Stalker going to be warped in, more probes coming over to try to save the day. He will go ahead and force field it off. Love that move, but here come the Hellions. Hellions going to get force fielded, not allowed access to that mineral line, and they will manage to get still some probe kills here, as we do have some going down. The second and third Hellion will fall. There goes the 4th, and the medevac's like, ooh, I think my time's done. Now, look at how NightEnD, not only did he defend that very, very well, but he has the Observer out, which is going to make this Banshee heading over. Will the Observer see the Banshee? It does. And so will he come back, or will we have a second Observer coming out here from that early robotics facility? The Banshee is going to just park itself right over here. It does... oh, did he cancel Cloak? I think he did. I think he went ahead and did. So, wow, everything here from GoOdy actually going to turn out to not work in his favor. In the meantime, he has taken the pocket expansion, which may not be as beneficial. Another Banshee's going to go ahead and go out. This one might go here to the center of the map or a little bit higher so they can attack this mineral line back here. Already 2 Stalkers sitting there. So NightEnD with some just phenomenal responses here, looking into his crystal ball and getting an idea on exactly what he needs to do. Banshee number 1 is getting repaired by these 2 very loyal SCVs from GoOdy. We've got more Banshees coming out right here, but yes, Cloak was canceled there. And I'm guessing to go ahead and throw down an additional factory, start getting that tank production going, because that was completely stopped. Now, let's sort of just real quickly bring up the units lost, and we can see that, you know, there was quite a few probes lost in that engagement, but he did trade that for those Marines there. So, you know, although there was no sort of impending counterattack coming from NightEnD, GoOdy did, you know, kind of equalize things as NightEnD really minimized the damage that was going to be done. However, with these Banshees coming in, this little push that we see right here could be quite devastating. Now, the tanks do have siege now, so of course you've got that additional ground support for any of those gateway units that are going to come out. The Marines are ready, but the Banshees can be microed actually very, very well to try to maximize the damage. Sometimes you'll have to sort of give up attacks from your Stalkers, maybe your Sentries, in order to actually defend against those Banshees and take them out. Because remember, with 3 of those Banshees doubling up with the 2 attacks, they can do an awful lot of damage. So taking those out will be a very key factor here. We do see NightEnD putting all of his units together. He does not have Blink. He's currently trying to get a couple Immortals, and his Twilight Council is going down, so that could be a direction that he is trying to go. He has no upgrades as of yet, and the tanks are going to siege up right here on the edge. Going to throw down a bunker, and GoOdy... Uh-oh, we will have the Hellions moving forward, but I really like the placement that GoOdy is having right now. Putting the bunker here is a very interesting decision by GoOdy, and what it can do is it can you know, try to bait your opponent out. Say, you know, come attack this bunker that I'm putting up right here, and here come the Banshees. If his opponent comes and attacks that bunker, then of course, oh, and here comes the Immortal. Hold that thought. The Immortal's going to get focus fire down by those Banshees, and you can see we do have some damage being done here by these tanks. However, have they done enough? That one tank does survive despite the fact that a Zealot was getting was just absolutely crushing it, and another siege tank was taking it out. Another Immortal's going to be coming on in. He's going to try to finish that last tank, and he gets focus fire down a second time, but look at all the Marines now taking their spots inside the bunker. One bunker will go down, but a lot of hurt Protoss units here. We do see another tank fall. Is GoOdy going to move that one tank forward to try to get some additional support coming out from their or can he actually... Oh, he's going to push forward. GoOdy, not really satisfied with what he's done here. He's going to immediately go after that Nexus. More Stalkers are coming in from the outside. Needs to have that tank sieged up. It is going to siege up the tanks. Or the Marines are taking a lot of damage there. And here comes another Immortal to save the day. Will it get focus fire down by the Marines inside the bunker? Yes, it will. But all the supporting units are gone. And NightEnD will hold this off, not allowing his opponent to really bait him into the situation that GoOdy had created there. Now let's just pause for a moment and just think about that battle. GoOdy had 2 tanks right here. He started to build the bunkers down below, and what I think he wanted to do was, you know, kind of give his opponent NightEnD a reason to attack those bunkers, bait him out a little bit, get some softening damage with those tanks, and then use the Marine to focus fire down what they need to focus fire down. He sort of realized that NightEnD wasn't going to bite. He saw that it was just a worm on the hook and said, I'm not going to fall for that. So brought out the Immortals, and as a result, GoOdy actually decided to go ahead and poke in. He poked in with some Hellions, with those Banshees, and ultimately that may have been a decision that cost him that battle right there. We see a third base, third Nexus going down for NightEnD right now, with another command center being built. This one fully saturated. We take a look at the income tab. You can see that the Terran just a little bit further ahead, as he's probably producing out of that command center as well. We got more Hellions making their way in, dropped off in the back. Not a whole lot here to defend this. Still no blue flame, but together with 4 Hellions, they do have the damage to be taken out several of these probes, and we will see a few more. We actually stayed on the income tab to watch that, dropping down to 47 harvesters, now up to 48. However, the one thing you got to keep in mind is with that third base up, that's going to increase, of course, the probe production and allow just some additional income to come in here. Meanwhile, NightEnd's army, while it did suffer some losses early on, he's still holding strong with 2 Immortals, one of them really, really hurting badly. But he does have his full shields, which is really the most important utility of that particular unit. We have some missile turrets coming out, and a lot of Hellions here. So what are we going to see is we're going to see the poke in. Still no blink coming out here. There we're going to have the tank siege up. And right now, I don't think NightEnD wants to directly attack into this. 4 siege tanks doing their damage can just wipe out a lot of units. The amount of Hellions that we're seeing here, I was going to say, it really warrants the researching of Blue Flame, and we are seeing that come down. Now, the upgrade's starting to come out for NightEnD here, as he has no upgrades currently, but getting that +1 ground attack and deciding to get charge, which is interesting because it's going to be charge lots taking on Blue Flame Hellions. You know, the Blue Flames in these types of numbers can win, especially with that supporting damage coming out from those siege tanks. Now, we're going to have another drop loading up, and this drop is going to be extremely, extremely deadly if he manages to get those Hellions into the base. Kind of forgotten about things right now, but that's because we will have a main engagement going on right here. He's going to pop those Guardian Shields, go ahead and move forward. Those Hellions have not moved inside the main base. We're keeping a close eye on them. They're right down here on the mini-map. They are going to start moving in, and it does look like the Protoss is going to move out. Now, is he ready? He's going to actually skip the main base and go directly to the natural here. And just taking a quick look at the income tab, starting off at 56 harvesters on this attack. Gone down to 51 already, still managing to fry several probes, down to 46 right now. And will he manage to go into that third base? He does find it. It's going to take him down to 41, 42 as more probes are coming out, but he does stop that one. So again, another trade, but GoOdy's army starting to look very, very nice. If you look at the army tab and the supplies here, 146 for GoOdy, 90 coming out here for NightEnD right now, and certainly at the lower end of the supply chain, but he is starting to work on a lot of upgrades, teching very nicely, as he's now getting 6 High Templar, chronoing in that Storm, which you know, it's kind of an interesting choice here with the lack of a bio army, but it can do a lot of damage to these Hellions. Clear Storm can completely just demolished him. Oh my gosh. GoOdy floating over command center here, bringing in yet again 4 more Hellions. We will have the Stalker moving out, and there's not a whole lot of probes here. He may want to choose to just go ahead and forget about this location, but he's going in and doing the damage anyway. Is he going to morph that into a planetary? Nope, he's just going to lift it. All right, so that Hellion, oh my gosh, the dancing Hellion doesn't do a whole lot, as he is going to go ahead and move away. Uh-oh, he might lose that, realizing he's in a little bit of trouble. And actually, I'm guessing it was because the pylon was there. Pylon giving him vision of that command center. It is on fire. Will we have some SCVs coming over to repair that up? But the tech path of NightEnD right now, getting +2 currently. Let's take a look at some of the upgrades here. No upgrades on any of the mech that we have here. GoOdy almost completely mech now. We have the single Marine out here. Is that the only? That is the one Marine. That one Marine right there is doing his job, and all the tanks are going to go ahead and unsiege, move forward, and now Protoss is going to have to deal with this incredibly large mech army right here. We do have a lot of High Templar, but will they be very effective versus this mech army? GoOdy going to move over as he takes another base. You know, he was behind in the economy early on, only having that pocket expansion. Now he finds himself over here with this base fully saturated, the pocket expansion fully saturated, almost mined out. Starting to get this one. And in this situation, if these rocks are taken out by GoOdy, he is going to have a much quicker attack path. Uh-oh, the Dark Shrine goes down. It will be spotted. And these Blue Flame Hellions will have easy access to go in here and just completely devastate the economy. Looking again, you can see that GoOdy is taking a huge chunk out of the economy for NightEnD. Those Hellions are going to move over to the third as well. One will fall, and with that Immortal there, he will stop it. But I really question the ability of NightEnD to be able to stop this massive, massive mech army here from GoOdy. Now, he did get charged early on, but doesn't have a whole lot of Zealots. Has his Stalkers with Blink, getting some Archons out here, and does have some Storms to drop. But with this relentless, or just rather relentless attacks coming out here by the Blue Flames of GoOdy, doing just some major damage as we continue to watch the Harvesters go down. And, you know, with not that much banked, eventually NightEnd's going to have to attack. He's going to reach this threshold where he will not be able to outproduce the Terran. And so he's going to have to do a ridiculous amount of damage. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and already call this a little bit early. I think it's pretty much over. You know, the damage was done. The first attack, maybe not so great. But the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth attack turned out to be quite good. We have missile turrets going up here in the main. The whole Protoss has to retreat back to their main base. And now we've got GoOdy. He will cut off all of the reinforcements from the main army over here. And it does look like NightEnD is going to go in for the attack. Tank sieged up, doing a lot of damage. Do have the blink forward, so a few siege tanks will be lost. But a lot of these units going right into the trap. That is GoOdy. A lot of siege tanks up here. I don't care how many hit points you have. You're going to get severely damaged by that. An interesting choice to go ahead and take this expansion right over here. Still a Banshee up there as well. And now we're going to have the push forward. The Immortals out in the front to tank a lot of that siege damage. Blink forward. And oh my gosh, is NightEnD going to be able to pull this off? The Archons coming out there. The Storms are being dropped down. SCVs going in for the massive repairs. And unfortunately, it's just all these tanks in the back that are doing so much damage. More Thors on the way. More tanks coming. And even though NightEnD gave it a good old college try, you could see that his army has gone down significantly in supply, down to 102. Now starting to see the upgrades come out here for NightEnD, or for GoOdy. So he's just got a few High Templar. But really, what else does he do here? Could feed back on these Thors. Oh my gosh, if the Thors actually realized if he could take out those High Templars. And here he's going to go in yet for it again. High Templar actually being focused by those Thors, and Thors are being completely ignored. We do have one Storm going down on top of those tanks. The second Storm will follow, but you can see the unit count of NightEnD down to almost nothing. He's down to 55 supply right now, with only High Templar being warped in. And I think GoOdy has finally put that choking grasp on his opponent and really starved him here. Not only the great harassment from the Hellions, which eventually became Blue Flame Hellions, but also a pure Mech army that NightEnD was not able to deal with. And there it is, the GG, and game number 1 will go to GoOdy here for the IPL Season 2 Winner Round 2 matchup. This is a best of 3, so we're going to be going on to Game 2 in just a moment. I'm DJ Wheat. Don't go away, because we have more IPL Season 2 Winner Round 2 coming at you.